Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the closing bell here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Here to wrap up today's action. Well, we had all the major components to the upside. We had the Dow Jones up 19,122, about 0.1%. We had the Nasdaq up at 5380, about 0.2% there. The S&P 500 rose to the 2204.60 level. Again, up about a little over 0.1% and above that psychological 2200 level. Now, the action did come on lower than average volume. New York Stock Exchange, there was 927 million shares that had actually transpired. And that's typically on average, we would see 977 million. The Nasdaq, 1.76 billion. We had that against an average typically on the Nasdaq, you would see right around 1.9 billion. So you also had decliners outpacing advancers, which was both on the Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange. But you did have new highs outpacing new lows. So we had a little bit of a mixed market, but where we did see relative strength were in some European names and specifically countries. We talk about this in the overnight action report at 8:30 Eastern time, and we're going to touch on Italy and France, both finishing up. Italy finished up at 2.6%. That's the ETF-EWI, and France, ticker symbol EWQ, is the ETF that follows French stocks, up 1.5%. Now, Italy has some referendums that are going to be put in front of Italian voters that are potentially going to pull some of the, or strip some of the powers of the Senate there in Italy. That has left the Prime Minister saying that he would resign if in fact that did not pass. So again, a lot of headline risk there, but has been moving to the upside. EWI, we actually talked about the pricing mechanisms there and the potential moves. So stay tuned on that tomorrow morning. We'll see how that goes. Also, healthcare providers. Take a look at IHF. That's the ETF that I track, up about 1.65%. You also had real estate that was up on the move on better than expected consensus economic data. And also, you're going to have a ton of housing data as well as personal income data that's going to be out tomorrow between 7 a.m. Eastern time and 10:30 Eastern time. Keep an eye on that. So IYR would be the real estate and housing ETFs that you want to keep an eye on as that data comes out, both on housing as well as personal income. Now, what has been relatively weak has been oil. We talked about it in Tech Talk. We've been talking about it nonstop in all of the headlines. USO, which we talked about in Tech Talk as far as estimated move analysis and looking at charts, it finished down the day about 3.5%. You're also seeing weakness in copper miners. So you can look at COPX down 3.3%, as well as steel 3.2%. Now those are interesting, and I think we need to put those on our radar screen because with all of these infrastructure plays that have been playing out to the upside so strongly since the election of Donald Trump, we're going to see any weakness if we're going to see some potential buying, maybe get some nibbling now that it's coming off of those highs. We also saw some softs like coffee, and we saw another commodity that was under some pressure, which was the Diesel-Heating ETF, UHN, down about 2.8%. We're going to keep a close eye tomorrow on the Department of Energy report, the EIA report. We'll see if whether there was a draw or a build in the crude supplies. That's pretty much it for economic data and also for wrapping up today. It's been a very interesting day. Volatility was mixed. There's volatility in also the currency markets. The U.S. dollar pulled off its best levels today, actually a little bit in the red. And we also saw that the bond markets, looks like the 10-year benchmark, the 10-year bond, is pulling back. It was finished today right around that 2.31% level on the 10-year. That's interesting. We're going to see if it's going to start to try to gravitate towards that 2.27% level. That's going to be that base there. That also means that the prices are going to go up. Maybe just a little uncertainty coming into this market, especially now that we're getting closer to month end, which that window dressing will then have taken place. And we're going to continue to also see the continuation of the Trump organization, the Trump presidency, and some of the candidates that they're putting up for critical positions within his office. So it'll be very neat to see what's going to happen there. Well, until tomorrow morning, I want to wish everybody a wonderful night. Stay tuned to MarketStream.live, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. We will wrap up all of the overnight action as well as what's starting in Europe and look at the pre-markets here in the United States. And then we'll kick off what's hot on the open at 9:30 Eastern time, all here at MarketStream.live. And as always, take a look at our archives. We have a ton of material in there, and we're going to be building it out. Very soon, we're going to be adding visuals. So you're going to be able to see the charts that I look at. You're going to be able to see the options chains that I'm looking at. You're going to be able to see the watch list, all here while I'm talking about it real time. So it'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. So stay tuned to MarketStream.live. Have a great evening.